Hi, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome back to the weekly market outlook. My name is Yemi Olaleye, and this outlook is the fundamental one for the 27th till 31st of October 2025. Let's go straight into it. Monday 27th, we have AUD as the RBA Governor Blog will be speaking. That is the only high impact news for that day. On Tuesday, we have no single high impact news. On Wednesday, we have trunk of it, where it started from the AUD to Canadian dollar to US dollar, starting from the 1:30 a.m. Nigerian time to 7 p.m. Nigerian time, and that's from the CPI on AUD to BOC rate statement on CAD, and to FOMC statement on US dollar. On Thursday, we also have some fantastic JPY outlook on coming up to, which are tentative, and that's where we're expecting the BOJ to be making its outlook report, and also monetary policy statement to be released. Of course, that's still tentative, and we have the US dollar too on advanced GDP quarter by quarter tentative. On Friday, we have three high impact news on Canadian dollar and US dollar, which the US dollar is tentative on the core PCE price index. And of course, we move straight into the fundamental outlook of the business. So today, I'll be doing something a little bit different from what we've been doing. We leave what I had from last week. The market is still in sync with that. So I'm not going to take out much of the directions and projection on my lines. So I'm just going to emphasize on it, and I adjust what needs to be adjusted from the current market view. All right. On the DXY for the weekly time frame analysis, this remains bullish momentum for me because so far so well the market hits that monthly demand zone. We've been seeing a push to the upside and rejection within this zone. We've been seeing a lot of ranges. So the words that I could expect a little bit of this for this week is to see a bit of sell right here, and the buy continues like I projected earlier. So for me, this is still a very good bullish momentum overall on the DXY. So eventually, when we have that series of buy, it's going to take out this level. And from here, I can actually be expecting to see more sell from there. So which means right here, is not out of proportion. This is what I'll be expecting on that. Okay. And very good. We move straight to the daily time frame perspective, and let's see what we have there. On the daily, the analysis is the same. As you can see, we have the last 3 days of the week. It was more or less like a ranging momentum, which is a pure rejection to the upside, right? And if we look at that critically, we can look at the price level like this to expect the price to expect the dollar to come into, and we can have some good buy from there again. So far so well. It may not take, it may be a day, it may be two, it may be three, regardless, and it may not get here. It may be around somewhere around here before we have that sell momentum get into, before we have the bullish momentum again on the DXY. But to keep it simple, let's go to the 4-hour time frame perspective and see more information. All right. So in the 4 hours, it's looking little like that. Like we're expecting more bearish momentum. And like I said, it may not get to this level as it is. And of course, this is another level we can anticipate to see that happening. This is on right here. So we can actually see the SY moving into this range like this. And then from there, we have a bullish momentum on the DXY, something like this. All right, which will be what I'm anticipating to see as well. So basically, this is what I'm looking at on this for this week on this DXY. This is what I'm looking at on DXY for this week. So to keep that very simple, there's another zone below it, right? Below it, where we're expecting the price to do something like this and do something like this in the future. But for now, this is what I have. So I will keep it that simple. And from here, we know what else to do in the nearest future. So let's keep it simple. Let's move to the next currency pair. Let's see the interaction right there. So this is on the Euro US dollar. I will take it from the weekly time frame perspective, and I'm going to do something very quickly. We had a bearish momentum signal for the previous week, which was here, and I projected that I will be seeing a sell in the market all through last week. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you see the market actually sold. And if you check that, you realize the market sold for at least 200 pips on average. And what is the outlook therefore for this week? My previous projection was to see more selling to this price level from the monthly time frame analysis, where this is a fair value gap. I'm going to show that quickly, and I move on to the next one. Can you see this? Can you see this? This is the fair value gap zone, which I'm expecting the price to get into, right? Where is this zone? So we're going to find out on a lower time frame. On the lower time frame we have here. So it means it's still on a lower time frame. But what does that mean? It means I'm looking for a sell momentum, a sell energy. On daily time frame, that is the zone. And from the current market price to there, we give you about 208 pips or 200 pips on average. But where is exactly is that zone? So going to 4 hour time frame perspective, are we seeing anything similar? Fantastic. This is it here. We had this zone here. I would say this is not much of a high potential position for a demand zone for me, but it looks good. It looks good, really. Eventually, it looks good. So I'll be waiting. Why does it look good? Because it aligns with on what I'm looking at on the higher time frame perspective. So currently, this is what I'm looking at on the Euro USD for 4 hour time frame, and this energy looks good for now. The momentum is quite significant, and of course, what can we be expecting? Expecting direct sell right here. Well, depends on how the market play out. May expect a little bit of bullish momentum into this range, right into this range here before we have that happening. So market could open without a gap and do that. It depends on what the market is showing. All right. So we're not trying to force the market to show whatever thing. It's about what we're doing in the market. So currently, this is the outlook I have on this one. And moving to the next guy. So this remains bullish. It remains bearish for me. Anyways, this remains bearish for me. This is Euro US dollar. It remains bearish. So, yes, 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 yes. Of course, we can have it direct sale. So that's what I'm looking at. We can have it of the direct sale, the opening of the market. All right. At the opening of the market, we can have a direct sale. But whichever case it is, on higher time frame, we can actually have a bit of bullish momentum and continue to sell off. But eventually, I'm expecting to see a sell that will get to a price range like this. I hope that is clear. Okay, good. Let's go to the next one. We have the Great Britain pounds US dollar. And last week too, starting from the weekly time frame perspective, I'm not going to take out the previous markups to save time. I have a lot to show. And I said that I was going to be looking for a sell on this last week as well because we had series of lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. And the previous week I said because of what we had, I'll be expecting bearish momentum for last week. And look at the market, it did about 150 pips on average. And let's see the daily time frame perspective and understand what exactly we had in the market. On the daily, what do we have? So we had that range movement, that rejection candle on the previous week Friday, which was here. And for that reason, I took a sell for last week on this, and I shared that in the community where we're taking a sell. And this did about 130, 140 pips on average from where the market ranged from, and which is a good one. And currently, if you look at this on the weekly time frame perspective, it's giving a kind of bullish vibe, a bullish vibe. If you look at it very well, it's giving a kind of bullish vibe. Why? So far, so well. It got to this price level. We got stuck more or less like ranging, right? But then going to the lower time frame perspective, like daily, it's a bit interesting that we may actually still see a little bit of sell before we have further reaction. This is not looking like the Euro USD entirely. Yes, a little bit difference in momentum and the movement is happening right here. So this makes this to be tricky. But then on forward time frame perspective, let's see what we have on 4 hour time frame perspective. So this is it on 4 hours and looking at how the market will react with this one, it's pure bearish one. All right. This is a pure bearish one. So if I want to keep this simple, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. They've done their work. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. They've done their work. All right. So on 4 hour time frame perspective, therefore, I will still be expecting the price to get to this level overall for a sell regardless. But based on the bullish momentum it's showing on the weekly time frame perspective, that means there would likely be another chance for a short-term buy right here because this is another good zone we can actually expect the market to react from. So we can actually still see the price ranging into this level, rallied into it, and pulled out completely away from that. So this is also very, very possible for us to see on the 4 hour time frame perspective. This is Great Britain pounds US dollar. Trade this with proper risk management. All right. So we're forecasting what has not happened. So it calls for a real attention to be careful. This is about 46 pips downward momentum into this range on average before we have a buy one, before we see the price coming here, before we have a sell back into this sell, into this buy zone, which is the demand zone. All right. So this is my outlook on Great Britain pounds US dollar 4 hour time frame. And I just try to keep it simple and let's move to the next one. The next one is the Great Australian dollar. For a long time now, I've said a lot of things about this guy, how ranging it is, how annoying it's going to be. My overall projection is to see Australian dollar get here somehow, but currently, at some point, it shifted that trend line within that liquidity zone, right? And it tapped into another level. So since then, we'll be following cautiously. As you can see on weekly, nothing is here. It's more of ranging for last week, previous week, ranging. Daily time frame perspective, all through last week was a range, even though last week I had a zone where I was expecting to see a market buy from, to sell from rather. If it buys to that zone, I want to see it sell from there. And this is the level right here. This is the level. So all I can do, this is another level here for another time zone. Okay. Look at this one. For example, I was expecting the price to get here before it starts selling. And as you can see, the price did not get there. And currently, the price is still ranging all through last week. So this is a level which I was expecting to see it sell from in let me just extend it to the future. All right. So I'm extending this level to the future, expecting the price to get in here in the future. If the price hits this level in the future, I'll be starting from there. All right. It's still very, very much valid, very, very much valid. So what I'm trying to do now is to make it simple and to ensure that, let me do this again. Good. And to ensure that we catch this opportunity whenever it's happening. All right. So this is my outlook on 4 time frame where I want to sell from. And where do I have another level? Why do I have so much markups on this one? This is a 1 hour time frame where I'm expecting it to buy to before I sell off. All right. This is the level I want to sell from on 1 hour time frame. So if I want to extend that to, I will have to do something like this. I will have to do something like this. And look at that. So if I really want to sell this off, this is what I'll be doing. This is a 1 hour time frame entry. All right. This is a 1 hour time frame entry based on what the price is showing. This is 1 hour time frame entry. If the market gets here, if you see the price getting to this level, rejecting from here, it's a good way to say we want to sell from there. All right. But to keep that simple, apart from that, the immediate level we're looking at is here, the 4 hour time zone for a sell. This is the 1 hour time zone for a sell. And why do we have this level? Because we want to buy from there in the future. And why? Excuse me. Let's go to the 4 hour time frame perspective and see if we have a demand zone there. Do we have a demand zone there? Yes, of course we do. We have a demand zone here whereby we can easily anticipate the price to get into in the future so that we can sell from here in the future. So which means we can also extend this one as it is. We can extend it to somewhere around there just to make it simple. We're not trying to beat the market. We just want to react to whatever the market is doing. So basically, this is what I have on this one right here. If you see, this is a fantastic way to analyze and wait for the market to play out. Whichever way it is, when it gets to any of these zones, all we need is the confirmation. If it does give us a confirmation, fantastic. We're looking for a sell. This is a sell momentum level at 0.6555, and this is also a sell momentum zone at 0.6607. And this is where we want to buy from at 0.6423. So keep this very simple, and I believe it's going to be a fantastic week yet again. All right, quickly move to the next one. We've spent about 13 minutes. This is NZD dollar. I have nothing to really show off here. The guy ranged over the week. It ranged a little bit over the week, and the range was not too bad. It was just that it was not giving much profit in the direction we're expecting. We expected a buy anyways. It's actually giving a more of a buy momentum, right? But this is where I want to sell from. I want to sell from the 0.58, and let me just extend that level a little bit more, and let's see how the price will react to that zone, because right here the market has moved. The risk is very minimal, not so much to risk on a daily time frame perspective. So I'm just going there, but this zone will be clear on a lower time frame. All right. So on the daily, it was a range, but then it gave a buy about 70 something pips buy. But on 4 hour time frame perspective, let's check it out. This is the 4 hours time frame perspective, which I was anticipating the price to get into before we see a good sell from here. All right. So I'm expecting to sell from here, but only if the market reacts in that zone. So how would that happen? Currently, the market is below it, and I'm expecting the price to do about 60 or 59 or 52 pips, basically about 50 pips on average into this range. And if the market is able to do that, then I'll be looking for a sell from here. So this is NZD-US dollar, a little bit of buy, and then more of a sell right there. And where is this selling to? Well, I will leave it to sell to this range about 0.5503. Then when that happens, we'll talk about the next thing we're looking at in the market. This is just my expectation in the market for this week, and let's keep this really, really simple. This could actually be the best trade for the week. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But this kind of range you've seen it before, right? Okay, so all of this, if you have a doubt, you can check the outlook we had last week. It's just what I had last week, and we are still It's still aligned. So I'm just not just going to waste time. I'll just go straight to it and I will make it clear. Okay, so now we have a weekly time frame perspective on USD CAD. What are we expecting? Expecting the price to hit this level before we have further reaction before now. And it took some weeks to see that. I've analyzed this for more than 2 months, expecting the price to hit this level, and it took a lot of time. Market has done that. It took about 200 pips thereabout. Market has hit that level with this rejection on weekly time frame perspective. It's giving a negative vibe, like it's giving a sell momentum vibe before we have a bullish one. But before then, let's see what we can do. On this one, on daily time frame perspective, my outlook was very simple, pretty simple last week. I said I'll be expecting it to still go for a sell momentum into this range before we buy. And last week it sold. Of course, it really sold well, but it has not gotten to where we want to buy from. And we want to buy from a lower time frame perspective, which was on the 4 hour time frame. The 4 hour time frame perspective I'm talking about is just around here where you see the price at 1.3947. And from there, which is a demand zone, which I seem to be a very good one, a fantastic one at that. And with that, it broke the previous high structure. You see here, we have the rejection protecting this lower, and right here, we see the market moving back into it with lower lows and lower highs, which is a bearish momentum, as you can see. So currently, the price is just hitting here, but I'm not going to get that twisted. I will only be waiting for the price to do what I'm expecting. If the price is not doing that, it's okay. I can fly to another currency pair of choice. But currently, this is what I'm looking at in the market. I just extended the zone. This level protected, it has been swept once, and let's see what the market will do with this information. So regardless, I'm just going to keep this simple and I'll be waiting for the price to just react in that manner. So whichever way it is, I'm just going to wait for the price. If it hits for a bearish momentum, that's fantastic. I will see it coming into this range, and from there, I'm going to take it a buy on this one right here. So basically, this is my outlook on USD CAD 4 hour time frame perspective. I hope this is clear. All right, good. Let's move to the next one. I think this is faster for me. USDJPY. Last week, let me share this from the weekly daily time frame perspective. All right, previous week Friday was this candle. You remember? I thought about it in the last outlook I had that this zone already, this guy is proving I'm coming. This is proving to us more or less like a rejection. Okay, and we expected the price to be in this zone to cover that gap before we have a buy. But the previous week Friday candle was here and it got into this level. It picked up a rejection, and that's how the market ended for that week. So, what were we expecting? We're expecting the market to do more of a bullish momentum. And how do I know that? Because if the market will be moving into this, we expect it to not close as a bullish candlestick confirmation like this. This is AMA, for example. And if you see this, it's at a level like this, meaning they're protecting this level. So I'm believing that the price will go to a higher price level and a premium zone. And when they're going to smash this level, it will be really, really massive. So right now, I'm not seeing them doing that. So for last week, I was able to project that I'll be expecting more bullish momentum from here since I have AMA right here, meaning this is kind of the breakout that they refer to as the breakaway gap. And that's what the market has done. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you see the market actually bought. And if you check how many people has the market bought so far, you realize this has done about 270 pips on average. With this outlook, therefore, what are we going to do with this information? Go to the 4 hour time frame perspective, for example. Go to the 4 hour time frame perspective, and with that outlook, therefore, what are you going to look at? Well, I'm going to expect a bit of sell buy momentum. I'm coming. I want to show you. We have something like this, right? We have something like this, which is a very bold one. Then we can expect the price to take out that level before we have further level. Okay, so the thing is, we're not trying to outsmart the market. We're only trying to see the opportunity we have ahead of time. So basically, I can take out this one. I won't take it out. I'm coming. I'll show you why. On 4 hour time frame perspective, can you see? I was expecting the buy here before, and it's still very valid. Okay, but I want to reduce what I have on the charts because I know it will take more than a week, most likely for the market to play that out. So where is the new zone we're looking for to buy from or to sell from? Expecting the price to take out the liquidity above here, which is resting above this high. And when the market does that, I'm expecting a bit of momentum into the bearish energy, into the bearish direction. And if that happens, then we have a zone on 1 hour time frame perspective, I guess, or let's see 2 hours time frame. Excuse me. All right, so we have something like this before now. See this massive rejection to this level before the market starts ranging. And at that point, before the previous low was taken out, where is the previous high? Sorry, previous high was taken out. This was the previous highs on here, right? When it was taken out, we had a series of engagement. The price moved here, they took the low, moved back and forth. All right, so it is very possible that we had the price just coming down into a range that we see. This is a fair value gap zone here. Can you see this? This is a fair value gap zone here. This level to have smashed below this low right here, as you can see this low right here, it was invalidated with this guy. Market moved back into it. It was a stop on for some lot of traders. All right, it was really a stop on for them. And then I'll just be waiting to see the price giving a buy momentum from here. So basically, I'm waiting for the market to come here. If the price comes here, I'm going to find a bullish energy to give me more bullish momentum. So first thing first, it's either I have a market taking out this high, then coming straight into this level. And when the price gets into this level, all I'll be waiting for is to see a buy momentum. All right. But before that happens, it is very possible that we see the price taking out this zone. All right. So let me just shift this to the side. I hope you understand how we do this analysis. I really hope you do. So expecting the price to take out this level. Okay. From there, it does something like this and we buy from here. So basically, this is just what I'm expecting in the market. And of course, it's very possible that the market starts selling straight up. But I just want to believe that the market will be of a bullish momentum because it cleared a lot of liquidity few hours to the closing of the market for last week. So that's my outlook right there. And if you go back to 4-hour time frame, this is what it's going to look like. And as you can see, you see a buy above the previous high level, which you can see, which has been demystified on lower time frame, and seeing the market coming back into this range. And of course, this is also a very, very good range right here on 4-hour time frame perspective, even if it's refined. Okay, that's enough on the USDJPY. USDCHF, nothing really interesting here. What I shared there previous week was to see the markets coming into this range and to buy from here based on what I have here. Markets came back here previous Friday, it's bought, and last week I said it was going to buy till it gets here before we're expecting a sell. And market sold into that, it bought into that level, I think on Thursday, I guess, and from there the market has been selling so far so well. So this one is done, and I'm done with this one as well. They've delivered, and if you can see, that means the market has done an average. Let me check it out. The market has done an average of about 112 pips to this level, to that zone, and it has done more than 60 pips here, I guess. 40 pips. No, I think I saw. Okay, this is about 53 pips so far so well from this zone. So this is a very good one for us in the market if you check it well. And then let's see what we have for this week. I just had to remove those ones because they're done. And the bias is not really changing per se, but I just want to show something new, okay? Now, this was the previous low we talked about in the market, and look at what the market is showing here. More of a ranging momentum, and as you can see, there's nothing much really happening here for now. All right, we have so much range. I'm expecting the market to actually do more of bullish momentum to take out this liquidity above here in the future. So this is the zone I'm expecting the market to react with. And of course, this is on the weekly time frame perspective. Do we have anything we're looking at on the lower time frame perspective? Let's say the daily time frame. If there's anything there, if there's nothing, we move to the 4 hours and we move to the daily on the 1 hour time frame. On the daily time frame perspective, not really bad, not really bad. We have a fair value gap zone above the price level here, though. We do have one here, which the market has tapped into for on Thursday. All right, and that was the zone I saw on daily time frame perspective. So with this, I may likely be expecting more sell momentum right here. Based on what I'm seeing now, I may likely be expecting more sell momentum. But to keep this very simple, let's go to the 4-hour time frame perspective and see, do we have anything on 4-hour time frame perspective? If we do, it would be a fantastic one. So this is on the 4-hour time frame. Yes, of course, we can have a sell here. It looks good for a sell momentum. On the 4-hour time frame, we can expect a sell momentum before a buy. Somewhere around here, I'm looking at where we can get a sell from. It's a tricky one right here though. But then let's see. We still have liquidity resting below these levels. All right. So basically, based on structures, we can go with this level. We can expect the price to take out this low before we have a buy. Take out this low, flush it, and give us a good buy from there. So basically, I'll just be looking at this zone and I'll be monitoring the price, getting inside of that. And from there, we can have a significant level to buy from. And then to keep this very simple, let me show something. I think so. On the other part of this is to ensure that if the market doesn't move in the bearish momentum at first to clear this liquidity before buying, then we can still have another zone just above it as a premium level where we can be selling from in the nearest future. Look at look clearly at this zone, what the market has created. We have a bullish momentum before we have a smash into the downward side. And the market has created a level right here before it smash it again. And currently the market secured that high right here, as you can see. Basically, I'll be expecting the price just to hit and attack this level before we have a premium sale from here. So this is a way better for me, a way better option for me rather. That's to see this momentum. And at the end of the overall, on higher time frame perspective, don't forget, we're looking for more of a buy. So basically, I'll be expecting more buy happening right there. This is the outlook on the USDCHF going forward for the week. And let's see the next one we have on the currency pair, GBPUSD JPY. You know, I have nothing to do with this guy. And of course, on GBP Canadian dollar, it's moved like as anticipated and projected for last week, which is very, very good. Significantly, we said I was expecting the price to get into this level, and you can see over the time the market has actually gotten a little bit closer than where it was before. So right here we have something like this on GBP AUD, and on that I was expecting to see more momentum into this range to expect the market to move back here. And this is a very good spot for us to see as a demand level. And if that should be the case, right here is a very good spot for us to expect the price to get into. If the price will get here, fine, fantastic for us. We'll be looking for a buy from this momentum. And I've been looking at this for a couple of times now. It's over 2 weeks, I guess, where I've been anticipating the price to move in here. And this is the outlook I have on the GBP AUD. And going forward for the week, BTC US dollar, nothing really much interesting. Washington. So basically, on the BTC US dollar for the week, as you can see, this is a very long projection. If you look at this one, BTC US dollar is a very long projection, expecting the price to sell into this level before it buys again. This is around $90,000. If you can look at this clearly, but this is a very way too long projection. And of course, you never can tell what Donald Trump will tweet. But then let's keep it very simple. This is a very long one anyways, but let's take it out. But what are you looking at? We have a massive bearish momentum from this price level after taking out liquidity and after smashing the lowest, the previous low, we had a price rejecting back into this level on the weekly time frame perspective. On the daily, what are we expecting? To see more bullish momentum? Yes, I'll be expecting more bullish momentum to take out this liquidity zone right here. So if there's anything, I'll be expecting to see the price smashing through this level before attacking through this low again in the nearest future. So basically for me, for the week going forward, BTC US dollar remains bullish for me. And as well, if you look at what we have currently in the market cycle, we've seen ad market as giving back everything it has bought from here, it has sold it back and took out the previous low. So it's very, very good for us to look for a price level like this. If you look at this price level to this price level as a fair value gap zone, it has been taken long ago. We created another low structure. So basically that is what I have. And going to the gold perspective, I shared before now that I'll be expecting the gold to get to a level like this, a price level like this before we have a reaction, sometimes last week, and it happened. On Wednesday, the price sold massively into this level. Tuesday was the biggest day for the gold for last week because it sold fantastic well from 4,373 to about 4,084. And on Wednesday, the price sold back into this level we're expecting, into the threshold of my range, and of course, it bought from there. Currently, I was expecting to see gold buy into this level and at least about 4,194 before it starts selling again. If it's going to sell, it will be a fantastic one. That is it on daily time frame perspective. On 4-hour time frame, there's no difference. I'll just have to wait to see the reaction in the market and let the market play out before we take further outlook. Thank you very much. God bless you. Take the proper risk management for the week going forward. It's going to be a fantastic week ahead of you. Bye for now. See you again next week.